Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here, and today we are actually talking about influencers, YouTubers, and essentially the clicks for cash economy because it really needs to die. And here's what's going on, and this is essentially what's spurring on this conversation. This is a recent article coming from The Drive, and here's what's going on that just makes me think that, quite frankly, we are way over the edge here, and this is getting nuts. Now, here's what's up. A YouTuber and former Olympic snowboarder has been accused of crashing his airplane on purpose for clicks, and the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, has opened up an investigation to get to the bottom of this mess. Now, here's the logistics of the situation. The person in question is Trevor Jacob, and he's been the subject of online criticism after posting a YouTube video where he parachuted from a Taylor-Croft BL-64 plane and filmed it crashing into the hills of Los Padres National Forest near Cayama, California. Now, the video outlined his newly purchased Taylor-Craft's final flight on November 24th of 2021, and this was a trip from Lompoc City Airport in Santa Barbara to Mammoth Lake, where he planned to partake in some general snowboarding and all that kind of stuff, because, that's what he does. Now, during the flight, though, the Taylor aircraft engine supposedly lost power, stalled, and could not be restarted. Jacobs then points the plane nose down and exit, sending the unoccupied aircraft crashing into the ground. Now, Jacob continued to film himself as he descended and proclaimed, and I quote, "This is why I always fly with a parachute." He then essentially, after landing, after parachuting away, tracked back to the wreckage and hiked until a farmer who he credits with saving his life found him in the darkness, apparently in the wilderness. And this actually is where things start to go south. The video of this incident was posted to YouTube, where it immediately began racking up a ton of views. The aviation sector of YouTube wasted no time in basically tearing apart his claims. Now, essentially, at the time that this article was published, and I'm sitting here talking today as this article was published today, this video has reached over 1 million views. It's also amassed more than 5,000 comments, many of which are essentially calling this out as being staged. Now, comments on the video have since turned off, but that hasn't stopped people from making reaction and explainer videos to point out the abnormalities in essentially this pilot's video. And I am not here making an explainer video. I'm talking about what this is, and then obviously we're going to talk about influencer culture, and you see where I'm going with this here. Now, it's worth noting that some suspect that the video currently on Jacob's YouTube channel is a trimmed down version of what he originally uploaded. However, a few of the segments can be found when looking at other videos uploaded by YouTubers critiquing the pilot's handling of the situation. So, to begin, the comment about Jacobs always wearing a parachute was identified as misleading. Several YouTubers actually reviewed a limited number of flying videos that Jacob posted and was in, and noted that he wasn't really wearing a parachute in any of those, and there you go. It's also worth noting, apparently, that many pilots of small general aviation aircraft, like the one that he had, typically don't fly with parachutes because cabin space is incredibly limited. These are very small planes. This isn't like a commuter jet here. Now, to Jacob's credit, he can be seen wearing this same chute harness in an Instagram photo, apparently from that September as well. Another video points out that when Jacob jumped from the plane, there appeared to be 2 fire extinguishers strapped to his legs, which is really odd. Why would you do that? There you go, unless you're, I guess, trying to weight yourself for a quick descent. I don't know. Now, there are other weird items that were picked up from the video, like a disconnected fuel selector valve and the instrument-facing camera, which is turned off just before the engine issues occurred, meaning you don't actually see the engine go wonky or everything fail. He turned the camera off and then claimed that it had failed, but everything else prior to that indicated that the airplane was okay. Commenters also point out that his microphone wasn't plugged in and that he appears to be acting poorly, that he had no real reason to hike back to his plane if the plane didn't have emergency supplies in it. And apparently when he hiked back to his plane, it's not like he salvaged anything from the plane as well. These are obviously all speculative, and while they don't prove that he was acting in bad faith, these are obvious legitimate concerns, and when taken together, really make it look like he intentionally crashed his plane to get click-through traffic. Global Air pointed out that Jacob only received his pilot license in mid-2020, So, can some of these be rookie mistakes? Very possibly. There you go. But as for the FAA, they're the ones that will ultimately decide this situation. But I think this really underscores a problem that we see. We have essentially an economy of people that want to essentially get likes, clicks, links, whatever it is, shares of their video because it is generating content that generates money for them, but it has no real intrinsic value. In this case, if he intentionally crashed his airplane, he could have literally killed or harmed somebody. What happens if the wind took it, or he miscalculated that he was in an unpopulated area and hits a campsite? I mean, who knows what could have happened? And if he is doing this intentionally, that's a huge problem. But we see this everywhere. Think about all of these TikTok challenges, of shattering the glass front door, or the Tide Pod challenge of this. People are doing stupid and dangerous things because they think it's going to generate likes, it's going to generate views, it's going to give them popularity. They essentially want to be some kind of celebrity, and out in the public sphere without actually doing anything concrete beyond being stupid and mindless for somebody to watch for 60 seconds and then move on. This is what we're talking about here. This is a huge problem. Now, on top of this, we have the detrimental effect of these people basically having the other side of the influencer of look at my beautiful, perfect life and all of that. And these stories come out of how these photos and these images are manipulated, or, they didn't actually, go to the beach on this giant yacht, they're standing next to it, but it's not theirs kind of thing. These are things that really are harming teenagers. And as they are growing up, and as studies have seen over and over throughout the years for the last decade, more and more kids simply want to be a YouTuber that really doesn't contribute much to society. It still blows my mind that people sit down and watch other people playing games in the same way that it still blows my mind that people sit down and watch sports for like 3 to 4 hours in a row. And if you love sports or you love watching games, I'm not knocking you to do that. It just blows my mind that the people that are playing these games are making so much money because it doesn't really seem to be contributing to anything in terms of the economy. Nothing is really being produced. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. You can tell me I'm way off base, but I think we have a very serious problem with influencer culture, with YouTubes, with this click for cash kind of mentality and economy, and crashing an actual airplane for likes and views, which by all intents and purposes seems to be what happened here, although I will wait for the FAA to tell me one way or the other here, because they would know better than anybody out there. They're the experts. I think that's a huge problem. And the mere fact that even if you're going down in an airplane, you would stop to take the time to actually film it going down as you were jumping with a parachute that you've really never worn in airplanes before, even though you consistently say you have, really leads us to believe that you just crashed this airplane for clicks and views. And I'm just really glad nobody got killed with this stupid stunt. And so this is why I think this economy, this false economy really needs to die. At some point, we actually have to do things with substance, and it's definitely not this. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP, where I promise you with my follower count, I'm not making money, nor have I monetized any of my channels. You are getting this for free, ideally ad-free. And if you're seeing ads, believe me, I'm not getting paid for them. You can also follow me on YouTube as well. Same concept there, not getting paid. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please stay private. Thanks, everyone.